What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and they're out of both Chico, California and Mills River, North Carolina, and this is their Rad Little Thing IPA. So this is a West Coast Hazy IPA, yes, a West Coast Hazy IPA that comes in at 7% alcohol by volume, 50 IBUs at the time of review, and this can is just over 2.5 months old. And I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Billy, for this beer, so huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Billy sent my way, and he sent me a lot of awesome beer, as he usually does, including 4 different offerings from Sierra Nevada. And today is a special day because it is January 31st of 2025, and this month, I have been doing the whole All Imperial Beer Theme Month, where every single day I post at least one review of an Imperial beer on the channel, and I have done so through 30 days. So today we're going to do one more. However, I wanted to kind of do a 2-for the final day. I know, Billy, you like the 2 for Tuesdays, 2 for Thursdays. So I thought today I would do a 2 for Friday, but it would be both of them Sierra Nevada beers. Now, this is not an imperialized beer, but I've been posting some non-imperialized beers this month, some leftover reviews from December. I wanted to kind of fit them in this month because I know not everybody loves imperialized beers. So I thought today, let's do 2 Sierra Nevada beers that Billy sent. We'll start off in the morning with this, which is a 7% West Coast Hazy IPA. Then later in the day, we're going to finish up All Imperial Beer Theme Month with their barrel-aged toasted s'more narwhal. I'm looking forward to that one. I love any kind of variants of narwhal. So you'll see the review of this early in the morning on Friday, and then later in the day, in the early evening, you will see the review of the aforementioned narwhal variant. So I'm very interested about this one. Now, the hops in this one, I'm trying to remember, I think it's Bravo, Chinook, Citra, Crystal, and Magnum. I think. Could be wrong on one of those. But if not, look on their website. So those are definitely old school hops. The newest school hop of those is Citra, as far as I know. But like, that's definitely like a West Coast hop bill. However, this is going to be hazy. And I watched the like 35 or 40-second video on their YouTube, and it's very generic. They're like, this is the taste of a West Coast, but looks and has the body and mouthfeel of a hazy. I'm here for it. Let's give it a pour. Now, this is just over 2.5 months old, but when it comes to Sierra Nevada, I don't worry too much about the freshness as I do some other breweries. I think their stuff is very shelf stable. And yeah, if this was 2.5 weeks old, probably be a little bit different, but I still think this is going to hold up extremely well. So I'm not too worried. That is like it's on camera. I know it's going to look more dull, but this is like bright orange. This is a bright orange. It looks a little bit darker than orange juice, but it has that vibrancy. Almost 2 fingers, like 1.5 fingers to almost 2 fingers of a soap sudsy, straight on, bright white colored head. Hold it up to the light, and it definitely is hazy. I see the shadow of my hand, but cannot make out my hand clearly. This is more of like that old school, like Vermont haze that you would see back in the day with like Heady Topper and Sip of Sunshine from Lawson's Finest. It kind of has that kind of vibe to it. It's not like that milky, super opaque kind of haze that you see nowadays, but it looks beautiful in the glass. Like, it really does. I'm very curious about this one. I think this is very akin to Lagunitas Beast of Both Worlds that they released like a year or 2 ago. I remember reviewing that one and being kind of like, yeah, definitely looks more like a hazy, but kind of drinks like a West Coast. So I don't know if this is going to be like a new kind of like hybrid style, but I'm here for it. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so at first I was just like, it kind of smells like a typical like shelfy hazy. It has that, has like some orange, some grapefruit, a touch of like a stone fruit, maybe a pineapple. But then I got a little bit of like resinous pine, a little bit of a floral scent. There's a touch of like a dankness that is, and I've used this before. Maybe it's like whatever they're doing with this Little Thing series. I forget what Little Thing it was. It was one of the beers within the series, but I got like a dankness that was akin to like a stinky cheese. And I said, I know how ridiculous that sounds. I've used that a couple times when the dankness is that dank. That's kind of what's happening here. It's not that garlic. It's not onion. It doesn't have like a huge herbaceousness. It has more of like a stinky cheese, like you're grating like some Parmesan. Yeah, I mean, it smells pretty good, but it smells akin to like that, again, Beast of Both Worlds. It definitely has more of that quality of a West Coast, but looks more like a East Coast slash hazy slash New England style. Yeah, it smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Billy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's nice. Now blowing my socks off here. Ooh. So that's where the West Coast really shines through, is that finish has a very strong, like moderate kind of resinous pine bitterness, but it's also very dry. Back in for the body and mouthfeel. Buying this is like medium, a touch over, maybe closer to like higher side of medium, but it's perfect for 7%. The mouthfeel, now they say it looks like a hazy and, you know, kind of drinks like a hazy. The mouthfeel isn't a hazy to me, or like it's not a good hazy from a mouthfeel perspective, in my opinion. It definitely has a moderate carbonation. It's smooth on the palate to some degrees. Some degrees, not plural, Joe, some degree. But it's not really soft. It's not you know, creamy. It doesn't have like, if you've ever had like a true great like hazy slash New England IPA, the mouthfeel is the thing that stands out. It's usually soft, smooth, and creamy and just kind of like glides down the palate. It's insane. This doesn't have that. So the mouthfeel is a bit disappointing. The body, really nice. Taste. Red front, orange, grapefruit, but it's both like orange and grapefruit juice combined with like the pithy, rindy peel of a citrus fruit, more specifically orange and grapefruit. So it has both like a bittering and a sweet sensation. Passes through a little bit of peach, nectarine, a touch of a pineapple, maybe a bit of like a, you know what, I was going to say maybe like a passion fruit or guava, but not really. It's more citrus and stone fruit with a little bit of a pineapple. On the second half of the palate though, this definitely 100% has a resinous pine quality. It has a floral essence to it. It's that dank quality that I was getting in the nose, but it didn't translate into like a stinky cheese. It's more just like a generic dankness. Finishes semi to full-on dry, more approaching full-on. And again, a moderate bitterness here. And that bitterness is that resinous pine floral kind of quality. 7%, I can't tell. No warming in the chest, nothing on the palate. Very easy to drink. It's a very easy drinking West Coast Hazy IPA. Doesn't have the best of both worlds. I'll be honest with you, if I was drinking this blind and full blind, I mean not being able to see the beer, I would think this is just a West Coast IPA of some sort. The body indicates to me that it's appropriate for something in that like, say like 6 to 8% realm. The mouthfeel screams old school West Coast IPA with a little bit of new school influence. So I would say it's more like 80% West Coast IPA and 20% you know, hazy IPA from the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel is disappointing if we're doing the combination of both. It doesn't have a good balance. But I would think this is just a straight on West Coast IPA if I was doing this. Or just like, hey, here's a generic you know, East Coast IPA, but it's not an old school hazy, something like that. It's a nice beer. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna have no issues drinking the rest of this. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice beer. It's a great shelfy beer. I think if you're in the mood for maybe a slight combination of the two, I would say if you're in more of a mood for a West Coast IPA, grab this, and you'll be surprised by some of the you know, hazy essence of this one, a little bit of like that sweeter kind of fruit character. But at the end of the day, this isn't setting a new standard or anything. It's a fun concept, much like that Beast of Both Worlds, which I don't remember if I like that one more, but I think off the top of my head, I think I like that a little bit more than this one. But I dig the Little Thing series. I hope Sierra Nevada keeps on doing it. That Cold Little Thing that I think was the most recent one in the series I reviewed, that was really nice. I'm not a huge cold IPA guy. I think they're solid. They're pretty good, some of them. And that one was pretty damn good. This, I'd say it's a good to very good beer, but it doesn't kind of blow my mind or anything. So Rad Little Thing IPA from Sierra Nevada. I'm going to give this a straight 4 out of 5. Can't do much lower or higher than that. I think this is good. I think it's pretty tasty. I think if you're curious about it, pick it up, give it a go. If you're looking for some kind of like new style that they have developed here, I don't think so. But it does have, you know, a little bit of influence from both East Coast and West Coast IPAs. It's just, I think it leans more West Coast, which again, Sierra Nevada is a West Coast brewery. So it makes sense. Even though they have the North Carolina location, they're still, you know, originated in the West, and it is what it is. So I would say, like I said, 4 out of 5, pretty damn good beer. Price point availability, I don't know what Billy paid for this one, but I did look it up at Wegmans. So if I'm familiar with Wegmans, they're very popular in the East Coast, or on the East Coast. They're starting to get a little bit further towards the South. I think they're in like North Carolina, maybe South Carolina at this point. They're in like Virginia. They're a great fucking, if you're in the East Coast, if you're on the East Coast or you're in the Northeast, you know about Wegmans. They do fantastic stuff. So I looked up the price. They have it available at a couple different Wegmans by me, $11.49 a six-pack. So typically, this would be $10.99 six-pack, so they raised prices a little bit. I know a viewer of the channel, Raining on Your Parade, mentioned that the price points went up by $1 or $2. Here, it looks like went about 50 cents. So yeah, under $12 for a six-pack of this. I'm fine with that. Kind of the going rate for shelfy, hazy / West Coast IPAs. And availability is Sierra Nevada. Pretty much everybody gets Sierra Nevada. Will you see this one? You should. Will you? I can't guarantee it. The problem with Sierra Nevada for some is that, and like myself, it's awesome I'm able to get a lot of their regular offerings, but a lot of their cool variants of different beers, like the aforementioned barrel-aged toasted s'more narwhal, only available on their website, and they don't ship to New York State, so that's a bummer. But something like this you should find. Anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. I think it's pretty well balanced, if anything, leaning a little bit more to the bitter and dry side of things. 7%, you can't tell. It's a nice, shelfy, hazy / West Coast IPA that I'm probably going to drink in like 15 minutes after I turn off the camera, and it's fine. It's a good beer, 4 out of 5. So thanks to Billy sending it my way. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Like I said, later on today, the 31st and final all imperial beer that I'm reviewing this month, and hopefully I save the best for last. We will see. I'm looking forward to it. Till then, cheers. Oh yeah, and I just want to mention, I'm reviewing them both on the same day. I'm reviewing this one in the early afternoon, and then the other one I'm going to actually drink towards the late evening. So I'm going to probably give like a 5-6 hour rest between the two, because if you've been following the channel for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, some health issues and whatnot, I usually drink 1 beer a day, sometimes 2 if they're lower ABV. I'm breaking that today, special occasion. We'll do a 7% beer and then an almost 12% beer. But since I'm reviewing them so far apart, I think we should be fine. Till then, cheers.